训练远距离，成就超凡英语说写能力。欢迎来到 Beyond Known Topic Master. Let's quickly take a look at our theme today. Worry, fear, phobia. Some people probably cannot tell the differences among them. When you have worry, you think about a problem that might happen in a way that makes you unhappy. For example, parents may have worry when their teenage girl doesn't come back at the time when she said she would. As for fear, it is strong emotion. When people are worried by something dangerous, painful, that is happening or might happen. For example, if your family member is missing in deep mountains for 2 or 3 days, you may have fear instead of just worry. What is phobia? Phobia is fear or worry that is unreasonable. Why is it unreasonable? Because most other people don't have the same kind of feeling as yours to the same thing. When you have phobia, you may have to see a doctor, because the fear is so strong and extreme that you are not able to control it. The following are some common phobias. First, fears related to animals. For example, some people are very afraid of cockroaches. Second, fears related to natural environment. For example, some people are afraid of flying because they have height phobia. Some others are worried about being in the dark. 3. Fears related to something symbolic of danger or death, such as blood, or some medical issues, injections, or even surgical knife. 4. Fears related to specific situation. For example, flying, riding an elevator. Okay, without further ado, let's quickly take a look at the questions for Topic Master this week. Question 1. Can you tell the differences among worry, fear, and phobia, and try to give each an example to explain differences? Well, that's what I have just done. And you just have to speak English to explain what you know about the differences. And remember, try to give an example. Question 2. Talk about 2 of your worries and why you have the worries and how you can get rid of the worries. If you are a 3rd grader in junior high school, you might be worried about not having enough time to review all the subjects for the exams that decide which senior high school you may enter. If you are going to graduate from university, you might be worried about not getting a good job. Worry is not always a bad thing. The point is that you have to find a solution. For question 3, you have to talk about your fear. Most people have the fear of losing something. Losing job, losing hair, losing their family member. Sometimes it's really hard to get rid of the fear. However, we can learn to look at the fear in a positive way. For example, if you have the fear of losing your job, you may have to work harder. Question 4. After we talk about worry and fear, we must talk about phobia. If you have any phobia, you can talk about how you react to the phobia. For example, if you are so afraid of cockroach, you may talk about what you do when a cockroach is in sight. As I mentioned much earlier, phobia is strong feeling that is not reasonable. Most of us don't have phobia, but we may know somebody who has phobia, and you may talk about how that person reacts to their phobia. Do you well accept the phobia in people's mind, or you think it's so ridiculous? Talk about how you feel about people's phobia. For question 6, Have you ever heard of people saying, fear is only in your mind? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but now you have heard me saying this sentence. Try to explain in details whether you agree with it or not. For example, there are people who go mountain climbing and they have to camp in the middle of nowhere in deep mountains. To most people, deep mountains is a place full of evil spirits, such as ghosts. Then why aren't those mountain climbers afraid of ghosts? They probably believe that fear is only in the mind, not in the world. 7. What are you most afraid of in your life? I believe that everybody is afraid of something, but do you think what you are afraid of is worry, fear, or phobia? And you may talk about a cause that makes you afraid. If you are to answer question 8, you may choose what makes you afraid from several items here. Flying, public speaking, height, darkness. Or probably you are very afraid of your mother or your wife. And to some people, they are worried about being alone in a lift. Try to explain and talk about what happens and share with your audience. For question 9, let's talk about ghosts and aliens. A lot of people are afraid of ghosts. Some others are worried about aliens. However, those people who are afraid of ghosts or worry about aliens have never seen them. Why are people afraid of something that they have never seen in their life or they have never met? Do you think it's a kind of phobia? To answer question 10, let's take a look at this proverb. Once bitten, twice shy. In fact, there is an equivalent Chinese saying. You may refer to the slide. Talk about whether you have the experience and what happened. For example, someone may never want to have a girlfriend after he was dumped. For question 11, let's talk about whether there is something that you will never do because of fear. For example, I never want to try smoking or taking drugs because I know that cigarettes and drugs are addictive and powerful. So I fear that I may not be able to get away from them once I try. Question 12 is to talk about whether you are the source of worry to somebody. I believe that most people have the same experience of worrying somebody. Talk about that experience. For the last question, let's talk about whether we can have a life without worry or fear. I believe nobody enjoys the feeling of worry or fear. However, can we become free of worry or fear? Why or why not? Okay, the above are all the questions for Topic Master this week, and I hope you enjoy the theme and enjoy sharing ideas with others. 加入超凡远距，成就超凡英语缩写能力。